All right, let's move into the next segment. And this one is about Ubisoft. And you know, if you're familiar with my past and this channel, then you know how much I love to talk about Ubisoft. Because Ubisoft has a long history. Me and Ubisoft go way back. I've been hating on Ubisoft for so long. I'm so disappointed with them for decades, I almost want to say. And now I don't do videos about them anymore, so I'm moving these rants that I do about Ubisoft and what they do over to the streams. So you may know or not know that Ubisoft released a little game about a month ago, I'm guessing now, that was called Star Wars Outlaws. And what they did, I believe, is they made it exclusive. They were like, Star Wars Outlaws obviously coming to PS5, it's coming to Xbox Series X. But when it comes to PC, we keep it on, I think, Epic Games and on their Uplay launcher or Ubisoft Connect or whatever they call it, right? So they were like, listen guys, our Star Wars game is so good that we don't need to put it on a popular platform like Steam because it's gonna sell like hotcakes. Everyone will want to play this Star Wars game. Well, turns out nobody wants it. Well, turns out it flopped brutally and nobody wants to play the game because the game is a hot pile of garbage. It's repetitive, it's dull, it has way too many stealth elements in it. So when the game came out about a month ago, maybe 1.5 months ago, something like this, people were just hating on it. Everyone was like, yeah, this is a piece of shit. Nobody wants to play this game. Now, 1.5 months later, Ubisoft is like, we got to do something. We invested 200 million into this game and people don't care. Nobody is playing our $200 million game. We got to change something. So they changed something. And that is that in the latest Star Wars Outlaws patch, it removes almost all forced stealth sequences. So they are like, it's a stealth game. We do a lot of stealth elements. Then people are like, we're not buying your game. This sucks. They're like, it's not a stealth game anymore. It is now a different action game. Please buy it, guys. Come on, it's not that bad. Croissant. So here they are, removing all these stealth sequences in the game. But the problem is, nobody cares. Let's read some of these comments, okay? I want to go through some of these comments with you guys because it's great. The best Star Wars Outlaws patch removes the entire game. Great move. Letting players choose their approach makes Star Wars Outlaws even more immersive and fun. That sounds sarcastic. Guys, we couldn't fix stealth, so we removed it. I can't wait for this game to be on Game Pass, dude. I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna laugh about it so hard. Join Monkey Games, by the way. Subscribe to Monkey Games. Link is in the description, okay? Ubisoft transformed a beautiful female model into literally a broom of Star Wars Outlaws. So this is the argument that a lot of people put forward. And I'll talk about this in a minute. Right? Everyone's like, it's the anti-woke crowd, right? They're like, oh, they take this clearly very beautiful woman, turn her into this. So they went woke, so the game flopped. I cannot wait to go into every hideout, guns blazing, LOL. Maybe I'll come back. Okay, here we have Mikey Romero. And he's like, I'll be back, bro. Nice. When does the update change your score on IGN? Yeah, it was reviewed very badly. Can't wait to play a decent polished Star Wars game for cheap in a few months when it's finished and on sale. Yeah. That's the thing. I think everyone's waiting for a sale on it and then people will throw it away anyway. Can't wait to maybe play it when the price drops to anywhere between $3 and $20. Ubisoft used to be such a great studio. So you can kind of get an idea. Did they change the way the missions work? Everyone is upset. The only way you could really save this game, Star Wars Outlaws, is by redoing the whole game. You really need to redo the whole thing, how the structure works, how the story works, the character, the missions. All of it is fucked up, okay? And now the momentum is completely gone. Everyone has now understood that the game is garbage. Everyone has heard about it. It's gotten bad reviews. So people don't care. The momentum is gone. So them coming out and saying, well, you know what? Actually now we've kind of removed the stealth elements. It doesn't do anything. It's too late. The train has left the station. Nothing can save this game at this point. And a lot of people are like, well, it could still pull a No Man's Sky, right? You guys remember No Man's Sky? That was a game that kind of turned around. It had a good, it had a good premise. The idea that you can seamlessly land on billions of planets and stuff. So they took their time to figure it out, and ultimately, No Man's Sky turned around, and it became a good game, a popular game. It still has a community now. No Man's Sky is a thriving game, but the problem with this game is it has a garbage premise. The premise of the game is already flawed. It's shit. Nobody wants it. It sells you a bunch of member berries, where you drive around in the freaking landscapes of Tatooine. It's like, oh, there's the Jawa, whatever it's called, that ship that looks like a ship, actually. It just sells you a bunch of member berries. It's like, oh, here's a land speeder. You know the land speeder, right? Oh, now we're going to Jabba's palace. You remember Jabba's palace, right? And Ubisoft literally thought that they can build a whole game on those member berries. They're like, yeah, you know, people remember Jabba's palace, so that's why the game is going to be successful, because everyone loves Jabba's palace, right? Wrong. Nobody gives a shit about Jabba's palace if the game is garbage. So I've come to the point, honestly, where I wouldn't even pirate this game. I wouldn't even pirate it. Like, give it to me for free. I'm not even playing it. I'm not wasting my time on this piece of shit. Like, it's a bad game. Everyone understands it, except Ubisoft. Everyone gets it. Well, we all learned now that Ubisoft is desperate, right? They're like, well, we're desperate. We need to sell this game. We invested 200 million into this game. We need to do something with it. It didn't work to make it exclusive to the consoles and to Epic and Ubisoft Connect, so let's put it on Steam. So now, Star Wars Outlaws has launched on Steam, I believe 2 days ago, was it? It launched 22nd of November, so literally, yesterday, 21st of November it launched on Steam. So it's now on Steam, and Ubisoft doesn't like this, because that means they have to pay royalties to Steam, right? Steam charges. If you want to have their game played on Steam, then you pay Steam and Valve and Gabe Newell money for that. Well, what do you think how that went? The game is now out on Steam. Surely millions of people are immediately jumping on it, because that's what people wanted, right? People wanted to play this game on Steam. Well, here are the player numbers. Right now, 1,400 people are playing it. 24-hour peak is 1,600. And this is the launch. The game came out yesterday, okay? So this is the peak of the hype, okay? Just for comparison, let's look at Stalker 2. Stalker 2 also came out 2-3 days ago. 85,000 people are playing it right now. 110,000 is the 24-hour peak. Just for comparison of popularity. 1,400 versus 1,600 24-hour peak compared to those numbers of Stalker 2. Like, what is it? It's like barely 2%, 2-3% of the player numbers that Stalker can accumulate go to Star Wars Outlaws. It's wild, dude. It's wild. It's an absolute car crash, this game. They're fucking it up. And again, $200 million budget. Another quick comparison. Half-Life 2. It was developed for less than $30 million. Currently, 18,000 people are playing it. Half-Life 2. And again, we've seen the numbers of Star Wars Outlaws. It's an absolute disaster. But still, it's nominated for Game Awards, right? Because someone at Ubisoft sucks Geoff Keighley's dick. Geoff Keighley is like, well, we're nominating it. It's gonna be a great game. Really, really shaped this year. Star Wars Outlaws. We gotta nominate that shit. So it's nominated for Best Performance, Most Innovative in Accessibility, and Best Action Adventure. That's where it's nominated in the Game Awards, dude. And I'm just sitting here like, what? What? Absolutely insane, dude. This shit is insane. He had too much PB&J beer. What? What do you mean? Listen, here's the thing. There's a long history of me getting upset about Ubisoft. I've been hating on this company for so long because I hate them from the bottom of my heart. It has nothing to do with the PB&J beer. It really is just me hating how they conduct business, how they make boring, uninspired games. They just suck. And they have, how many? 20,000 employees? Yeah, close to 20,000 employees, right? 18,666. Is that a sign? 666? Who knows? But they have a lot of employees, right? And this is September 2024, so these are new numbers. It used to be actually 20,000, close to 19,000 something, so they let go of about 1,000 employees. Obviously, they're not all in game development, right? Some of them are marketing, some of them are like, whatever, management. But a team of almost 20,000 people in these countless studios around the world are not able to make a creative, inspired game. And that pisses me off. It makes me angry. But now, with this game, with Star Wars Outlaws failing, and with Assassin's Creed Shadows really looking underwhelming, right? That's the game that's now just been delayed. The next Assassin's Creed game, playing in feudal Japan, supposed to be coming out like early, I think the first quarter of next year or something. it really doesn't look good as well. And it really feels like the end of Ubisoft is nigh, dude. We are getting to the end point. This company cannot sustain itself any longer because they need games that make themselves money, right? They need games that make money, and they don't have any. They have no games that make them money. Remember, they were already like selling NFTs in like, what was it? Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Back in the days when like that shit was the latest craze, right? Oh, everyone's doing NFTs. They were starting to sell their own and launch their own NFT blockchain, DLCs basically. Launched its first ever blockchain game with, also that's another thing. They just launched a game kind of under the radar that nobody heard about. Gimoria Chronicles, Champions Tactics. That's a full NFT game just to cash in. Like, pathetic. But even back in the days, like with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, they were selling helmets and stuff. And they were supposed to be like these unique collectibles that are on the blockchain. They are so desperate to make money at this point. It's ridiculous. And again, I don't think it's because of the anti-woke crowd. Sure, there are people out there who say, oh, the new character in Star Wars Outlaws looks like a man. It's a small percentage. It's a loud verbal minority, right? They're everywhere, but they are not the people who really The reason why Ubisoft is messing up is because nobody likes their games. Nobody wants to play their games. They are boring. They're creatively bankrupt. They take no risks. They are uninspired. They're repetitive. They feel outdated and rushed. That's why their games fail, and they're not even able to admit that. You see like their creative directors coming forward and blaming the players. Oh, the players cannot accept the games we make. Shut the fuck up. You guys make garbage games, and that's why they bomb, dude. Nobody buys them. But that's basically it. I don't want to go deeper into it. Every now and then I lose my mind over Ubisoft. That was the Ubisoft segment. Fuck that. I'm so upset at them. Just make a Far Cry Star Wars game. I mean, to be honest, I feel like they kind of did a Division Star Wars game now. The new one. It was even the team that developed the Division who did that, Star Wars Outlaws. So it just flopped so bad, man. Star Wars and also Ubisoft, they're both in such a bad place, man. And what I really love about this, right, is how both Disney, Star Wars, and Ubisoft, they just blame it on the woke crowd. You can see that the anti-woke crowd. They come out and they're like, well, it's a big group of haters out there, and that's why the games are received bad, because these haters. It's like, no, dude, you're just making bad games, man. You're making bad movies, bad TV shows, bad games. You're fucking it up. The anti-woke crowd is a group of people that are loud and all that, but the main reason why the majority of people don't eat up your garbage is because it's garbage. You're feeding them garbage. I understand you all work very hard on it. It's still garbage, man. If you polish a turd, it's still a turd. This is kind of the root of the whole problem for Ubisoft and Disney Star Wars alike. That they cannot acknowledge their own wrongdoing. That there's never a point of insight where they say, we have made mistakes. The way we've conducted the prequels, the sequels, right? Like, the whole Rey trilogy was a mistake. That was not good how we did that. I mean, now they're doubling down on it. Now we get episode 10 to 12 with Rey again, presumably, right? So they're doubling down on it. They never say this was a mistake. Ubisoft never says, this game, the way we did it, it was boring, dull, and a mistake. They're like, the gamers didn't understand. The players did not understand what we were aiming for. That's the problem. The problem is not the game itself, it's the gamers. Same with Disney. It's the consumers. They don't get it. The Obi-Wan show, the Book of Boba Fett, the Ahsoka show. There's nothing wrong with these shows. The people are the problem. They don't get it. And that's why nothing will ever improve. Because they don't start with their own mistake. If you don't start by saying, we made a mistake, you will never improve, right? And I understand it's difficult, even for individuals, to reflect critically on yourself, to say, that was something I did do that was not great. I should have not done it the way I did. I fucked it up. Need to do better next time. How can I do this? You start from a point of self-reflection, critical self-reflection. We have a hard time doing it as individuals. I fucking hate that. I see it all the time in my companies that I work with. Disney as a corporation, Ubisoft as a corporation, they struggle with it as well. We're constantly pushing responsibility away and say, well, it's actually the players. It's the viewers. The people who are subscribed to Disney Plus, they are at fault. You can never get better if you don't start with yourself. A GTA 5 with a Star Wars mod skin would be more fun than the shit Ubisoft released. Yeah, but a GTA 5, especially GTA Online, took a long time to develop, and that would cost a lot of money, and Ubisoft doesn't do that. Ubisoft wants quick turnarounds. Quick. It's a 3-4 year development cycle. We can make a good game in 3-4 years, right, guys? Just make it like Assassin's Creed. So they don't take the time. They never take the time.